Hi, it's Lee from AceApp Studios. Today we're going to be showing you how to use Gmapscraper. So you should already have it set up with the API key in place. And I've got some example locations and some keywords from a customer. So these keywords look okay. So we'll literally copy them straight into here. Now the map coordinates, we can use coordinates locations if they're formatted correctly, but for this example we're not going to use that. The customer has a huge list of locations. We recommend only put in a few thousands, maybe keywords or a few thousand coordinates in at a time. It probably can do a lot more, but definitely wouldn't go above 5,000 at a time. For this example, I'm just going to use, say, 10 locations, just to keep the video nice and short. So I'm going to copy these first of all, and I'm going to paste them into a text editor. Main reason is because it's got tabs instead of spaces, so we're going to copy that tab. We're going to just use find and replace, and we're going to first of all paste that tab in there and replace it with a space. Replace all. So that's made them keywords a lot nicer. I'm also going to append to the end the word Canada. So the way we can do this is to use our keyword phrase tool, pasting the keywords there, simply write Canada, just so that our tool knows for sure what country it is. Then change the option to save to clipboard, create the phrases. And now just to show you what that looks like. Now it looks like that. So we've now got Canada appended to each of it as well. I'd also probably recommend taking out the quotes, but we'll roll like this anyway. We'll take it and we'll paste it in here. So as I say, we've now got keywords in place, our locations in place, and we've got our API key in. So it's quite simple now. Just click the search data and off it'll start whirling. And what it's doing now is it's now basically creating an API search for each keyword and location, and for each search it performs it could return up to 60 results. So you want to make sure that your locations generally aren't going to have more than 60 of your target niche in them. So for example here, hopefully there's not more than 60 gyms in these specific towns. So we'll just let it go through. As you can see, it's quite fast, and you can see it collects an item data here. If it finds any dupes, it will automatically remove the dupes at the end of this process, which is quite good. And you can keep track of the API status here. Show a couple of them, maybe no results for certain keywords in certain towns, but generally you're just looking to that to be okay. And here are the queries. The queries here don't necessarily represent each search. Each search could be up to about three queries per search, depending on how many results are given back from the Google API. The other options available here, might as well talk about as we're running. We can use regular expressions here to filter out what data is saved. This filter will apply to any data returned for that specific item. We recommend don't use it at first, but if you start to see data in there that you don't really want, or you're specifically targeting a type of data, the regular expression filter can be quite handy. The rest of the settings we generally recommend you leave it as is. It's based ranked by distance, so it will find the map location for this town, for example, before searching, and it will automatically search by distance and return the results in a distance order, which is quite handy. So as you can see, in no time at all, it's spinning through all the searches, collecting all the data. Now I'm expecting in this particular search a lot of duplicates. Reason being is because we're using more than one keyword. So I'm expecting there's going to be several items that get returned for the keyword yoga and several items that get returned for the keyword gym that are the same places. So I will expect there to be several duplicates returned. Normally speaking, I'd only use one keyword myself. I'd just target one keyword area and then run it against a couple of thousand locations. We use also on our, whilst this is running, put this over here so we can see that. We also in the members area, down the left hand side, we also have a few resources here, so I will be adding more hopefully as time goes on, but we have various different location lists already sort of mapped out. So if I click on one, for example, you can see we've already got a nice keyword lists here that we can simply paste into the software if we're after that area. So if anyone makes any cool location lists, feel free to submit them as well, and we'll add them to the site as we go on. Also, it's worth noting I'm running this on a iMac, but the process is exactly the same on Windows. If you need to know more information about how to get it working on iMacs, we do have guides down here in the other guide section that explain how you can install and run our tools on iMacs. Generally speaking though, our tools are designed to work on Windows only. But we now support running on iMacs using Parallels. So as you can see, we're almost done the first process, and it's taken not much time at all really to gather all that information. There would have been more information. Obviously, some of them yielded no results. So some of them keywords weren't yielding results in some of them locations. So we could have had more results had the keywords been better, or if we're searching for more. So just waiting for this last bit to finish. We're now waiting for the pop-up. Okay, let's finish that part. Now simply we now collect the item data. So we've got 1744 items. We now simply just collect this, click this button. 705 duplicates get removed, and then away it goes. Now it's actually using the item IDs from the return search data, and it's now making a query against all of them item IDs, which now allows us to pull in even more data through the API. The search API does return some data, but it doesn't really return all of the data. In the final result, you'll get a CSV with all of the data, the search data plus the item data added on top. So as you can see, it's fairly fast. Again, both processes are multi-threaded, and running API requests as well. It's quite quick and very low bandwidth as well. So for those countries that are paying for bandwidth, it's quite an efficient scraper. Okay, there we go. So we've now got a grand total of 1039 items. That was after the duplicates were removed. Now we just OK. And it should automatically prompt us to save it, which it has. And we'll just put this as fitness Canada example .csv. Oh, CSV. Save that. It should automatically save it and give you a pop-up, and then it should automatically open up the file for us. We're on the wrong settings here. We need to be on Unicode 8, English, and there we go. So we can have a look at what data is returned. Okay, so if we now format the height and format the width, we can then expand that to the size we want and view it. So the first up to G is what's returned from the search data. So these first columns are what goes through the search data. The next columns is map link, icons for the category. I mean, we try and pull in all the data because I'd rather have more data than what you need, and you could just simply delete the columns of what you don't need. We have the international phone number, website, review data. This is in HTML. We may decide to strip this at a later date, but at the moment, yeah, it just collects the raw review data from the Google API. We have all of the opening times broken down into the days, which is pretty cool. We also have photo references. These are like hash keys for photos, which we may or may not use at a later date. We'll see how that goes. We also have the ratings, if they've got any ratings, price levels, if your particular category has a price level. Some shops, restaurants and stuff like that does. You also have the Google Place ID, and this is just the scope of Google. But that's roughly what's returned in the data, and as I say, it's very, very quick. And then what we can do is we can open up the website scraper. We can import the file. This step's only really needed if you want the email from them. So to make sure it's successfully imported, you just need to check here the amount of rows and columns. Okay, so we now need to check which one's got the website data, because obviously that's where we're going to be collecting emails from if we are. So that's K, which is, yeah, it is number 11. I had to count that away in my head. So it should automatically be default set to 11, but if you was importing other data, you're going to want to change the column number to represent whatever data you're importing. This is very, very quick as well. It's socket based, multi-threaded. It has a few other cool functions as well. On this, the default settings will only search for links that have the word contact in it, or whatever word you like. And if you wanted to add more keywords, you could quite simply do so just by adding a pipeline and put about, for example, or whatever page titles you want. In this, I'm just going to literally change it to the code that will now accept all links. So basically, it will first of all visit the first URL that's fed into it. So in this case, it's all the home pages of each website. And then what it will do is it will search for the href tag links. So it has to be a HTML link. It can't be a JavaScript link. It has to be a HTML link using a href element. And then what it will do is it will check all of these pages, because I've put the wildcard in essentially, and check all them pages. And every page that it does visit, it will also scan for emails, Facebook links, Twitter links, Google links. We've also opened it out so you can put in your custom regular expressions. So if there was some important information you wanted to scrape off some of these websites, you could do so. If you wanted to check whether they had a verification badge on their site, you could do so in here. We've also opened up custom XPath expressions as well, so you can, if you're familiar with either one, you can use either or both. At the moment, we don't really teach custom regular expressions or XPath expressions, but there's plenty of videos on YouTube that will explain how to do that. Of course, support's here if you need any help anyway. Anyway, so it's quite simple. We import the file, set the column number. Everything else you could pretty much leave, apart from maybe change this value here so it scrapes all the pages. And then we're just literally going to hit run. So as you can see, straight away starts whirling away. These are the site data. I'll go from the top to the bottom, I suppose. The site data is what columns here it's detected a website. So at the moment, all it's going to check really for is that that string starts with a letter and has at least one dot. So it allows us to scrape quite a bit, but keep that in mind. But once it finds the site data, it will then obviously visit the home page, and then from that home page, it will then scan all the links from that home page. And every page that it does visit, it will also make these other scrapes for you below. So it's a pretty cool tool. And we'll show you once it gets to the end. So here you can see it's found email for 10 of the 32 sites that it's visited so far. So we've left this tool open on purpose so you can customize literally how the parsers work. The positive parser obviously is what it's going to accept as a link, and the negative parsers we've set with a lot of defaults already in there. This is just so it doesn't try and scan MP3s or PDFs or icons or any JavaScripts or stuff like that. So it's pretty handy, but you can use this as a negative filter. If you wanted, you could add other links on there if you didn't want to visit other links. But we've left it open. So we've got this regular expression for the email. I created that myself. It seems to be very accurate. It does pick up a lot of emails, and it was better than any I'd tested out there, to be fair. I did try and test other ones and compare it, and this is basically the best I came out with. Feel free to try out other regular expressions to scrape email, but I would suggest that you don't replace this main one. I'd suggest you use it down here. Reason being is because then you can compare the results from this scrape to our scrape, and if you do find one that is better or works better, by all means do contact us and let us know. But that way at least then you're going to get the default emails set with the default settings, and you'll also have your own column with your own email so you can compare. So as you can see, it's giving a good scan of these pages. Oh, the other thing to mention is the fact that these pages it will scrape on the positive parser have to be an internal link as well. So if it links to an About Me page or a Contact Us page that is on a different domain, which is very unlikely, but if so, it won't follow through onto another domain. It will only visit pages based on the domain in here. See, as you can see, scraping all pages does take considerably a little bit more time. Whilst it's open, I shall open another instance. And show you how quick it is if it's only scraping the contact pages. This way obviously is more thorough, but if you just want quick results, leaving the defaults are quite good as well. Okay, so just let this load up. Okay, so I'm going to import the exact same file in. Okay, on this one I'm going to leave the contacts in, so it's literally only going to look for links that have the word contact or contact in German in there. Feel free to add other languages in there or suitable for whatever you're scraping. But I'm just going to run this one. Again, 10 threads. So you'll be able to see how quick it is in comparison when it's not scraping every page. And as you see earlier, we was at 30 and 10, so it's pretty close. I mean, it's pretty accurate scraping because it scrapes the home page or the source URL that is fed, plus these extra pages on top. Anyway, as you can see, it's a considerably lot more faster if you're not scanning every page. I might shut this left one down as I'm recording as well. Probably not wise to have 20 threads open whilst recording. Oh, that made a huge difference. Okay. So again, pop up. This time it doesn't auto save though. We might have to add that in. So fitness kennel example with email. Save this one as. It tells us it's been saved, and again it should pop it open, which it does. And now we've basically got the same data we imported, but with a few more extra columns. So again, I'm just going to quickly change the height and the column width, and then adjust slightly. Okay, so if we now scroll along, we've got all the data that we had before. Right up to the scope was where we had before, and then now we've got the new data. So the first column is a list of all the pages that it visited. So you can now see which ones. So if I open the box out, you can see on this particular site it visited the home page and it visited the contact page. Obviously this one was just the contact scrape, so we're only going to see links in here at the home page or the source URL plus the contact URL if it found one. The next column is emails. So in here again it may find several emails, so you might find, if I highlight the lot, you might find some websites find a couple of emails and they'll be on new rows. So for example at this CrossFit Waverley, it found 2 emails and it just stacks them on top. Again, we've got the Facebook links and any Twitter links that it found. Again, it stacks them up if it finds multiple ones. So for example, on this one we've got a personal one it found on that page, as well as one for the company. We've got Twitter links, Google+. Then we've got the regex. So if you use the custom regex field or custom XPath field, it will also fill in there for us, which is pretty cool. So anyway, there's a quick rundown from start to finish, from keywords to end final results. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video and end up getting more use out of our tools. As always though, if you need any help, you can always come and visit our site and click on the support at the top of our site and email us or send a message to us. Also feel free to subscribe, as we'll probably be adding more videos like this shown you how to use our tools. Thank you for watching. Cheers.